Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to another episode of No Accounting for Taste with Kanane Shanane.
Oh, who's that? Is there a
I don't
new
know. I
person?
already messed this up. We're already.
That's all of us.
Sinead.
That's all three of us
Yeah,
as
it
a
is.
Voltron.
Shailene.
That's Aaron Rodgers' girlfriend. I don't know.
Shailene, what was it? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
Whatever.
from last episode.
This episode, we're talking about brand loyalty. Coke or Pepsi, Kyle? What is it? What do you go for?
I mean, if you're going to pressure me, I'd say
God, I just needed a one-word answer, and you already turned it into a thing.
It's like mellow.
You knew what I wanted, and you were just clearly not going to help me with this.
Oh no, there he goes on the escalator.
Pepsi.
Oh, Pepsi! Not only do we have to wait that long, but he picks the wrong answer.
Oh, we're going to get into this and other brand wars on this episode of No Accounting for Taste. Charlene, let them hear the music. Play the ones and twos, Shardog.
Pal, you're good with words. You know that, man?
I think the gym is dumb.
Did Rachel walk in the room? Of course I've eaten a Baconator.
Man, if you ain't doing CrossFit, you can get crossed up.
You're right. A long burger's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
That's your sitcom right there as a Mr. Fix-It-All who just can't fix his heart.
We will not be defending Atlantic City.
No accounting for taste. If it's something that somebody loves, let's try and celebrate it instead of shitting on it. Whether you're a seasoned gym goer or just starting your fitness journey, Fitbod will push you to make progress. It's like having your own personal fitness trainer, but even better. It's cheaper. You can work out anywhere with or without equipment. It's easy to build a custom fitness plan that works for you. Add Fitbod to your workout essentials. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app free at fitbod.me/NAFT. That is fitbod.me/NAFT.
Whether your resolution is to save money, eat better, or stress less, HelloFresh is here to help you do all three. Say hello to your most delicious year yet with fresh ingredients and chef-crafted recipes at a price you'll like, delivered right to your door. Go to HelloFresh.com/NAFT-free. Use code NAFT-free for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/NAFT-free with code NAFT-free. Free breakfast. Most important meal of the day.
Pepsi. Pepsi. I like Pepsi.
All right.
better.
Let's get to it.
Pepsi. That's
Kyle, was your house...
Pepsi? No, the house was a Coke household.
Yeah?
Any
other... Truly any other, like, specific brand loyalty in your house?
No, it was like my mom was the big pop drinker, so we would get Coke, but we would also get, like, it wasn't some freak out thing. We would get the generic brands, or we would get what was on sale. So it wasn't like there was a preference, but there was no like clothing.
The deciding factor was what was on sale.
Yeah, we were not in a income bracket to have a brand loyalty with anything.
That's like that.
Yeah,
that was the say. I was like, "What kind of dog food do we get?" One time to my mom, she was like, "Who cares? Whatever's the cheapest." Because I was like doing grocery show. She was like, "That's all you need to know is what is the least expensive."
Yeah, I can't.
She's like, "It's the same disgusting shit."
Yeah, I didn't grow. I mean, there was like, fat, like clothing that was in fat, but there was no brand loyalty or any kind of like sports mentality towards a brand. I remember there was when you're a kid and you just need a reason to argue and you'd Coke or Pepsi and I'll drink whatever. If you're going to give me two of them and they're both at the same temperature, they're both nice and cold, I'll choose a Pepsi.
Oh. Do you remember the Pepsi challenge?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like a what a weird thing for I heard they stopped doing it because people were just picking Coke like as a better soda, whatever, for me, we were definitely like it doesn't matter what's the cheapest. Like there would be things we would always get, but not Like my mom loved ginger snap cookies, so she would get those, but it didn't matter what the brand was ever. Like we really weren't that kind of how. We didn't have the money to do it either, I suppose. But I guess like
Nothing was better, but there were things that were the worst. There were things that just sucked. So you didn't get those because they sucked, but not because it's pop. It's not a religion.
Grocery store cookies are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we get those instead of like Oreos, sign me up. Who gives a fuck about the name?
I think I was part of the generation that propagated Pabst Blue Ribbon into entering the lexicon, just because when you went to buy the cheapest beer, it was Pabst and it was a 30-pack. Nobody else was even making a 30-pack. So you just drank it because it was the shit you could afford.
Yeah. There's a thing with volume that is like like for people who are on budgets, like what you're buying is like, you're like, well, I'm paying more, but I am getting more at a cheaper rate. Like poor people understand that kind of bargaining power pretty well. We would go to a grocery store that was kind of far away, but it was called Town Talk. And it was in a little town, like, and the dog food at this place, I don't know why I keep bringing up dog food, was just in a big trough, and you had a giant scoop, and you did it by like everything was like a bulk but not packaged Costco kind of brand.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah, would still go there. Yeah, and it was like the weirdest place on earth because it was always like crazy hayseeds that worked there, and then they would have like Mexican bakery cookies too. You're like, what is? And this food is coming from everywhere. It was like if a food court. If all the restaurants had to share one freezer and they were just like pulling shit out of it. Yeah.
Oh, Doc, I was so excited about Winco when I moved here. I love Winco. First off, 24-hour grocery store.
Awesome.
I know it's not cost effective for the grocery store, but I've spoken about it before. I love going like 2 a.m. It's after so there's been the chaos of the day, and then the aisles are all faced up. Like they're all organized and clean, and like that's my ASMR.
There's a serenity to this for you, kind of. Yeah,
it's a church. It's everything.
If I see 1,000 Fruit Loop boxes all facing in the same direction,
all the cans. Yeah, I love it so much.
Yeah.
And
so
Winco has
in the way
bins,
of that sometimes is there is a guy with a forklift like stacking shit.
That's what they got to do at night.
I'm saying that's the only. Yeah, of course, but I'm saying that's the only distraction of complete serenity of it not having child like throwing spinach in the air, or pawing everything, you know.
But when I see like a name, like for anything, I buy the store brand because it's the same shit, and you're gonna like, it's all like food, like basic medicines, ibuprofens or whatever. It's all the same thing. You look at the ingredients are exactly the same thing, and you're gonna pay more money just for the brand that you
much
recognize.
more.
So and again, so there's this brand loyalty. They fight very much to get you to align. Like I think we're both not the people to like Sean Jordan and his it's infected me where I have like Adidas stuff and I won't wear Nike shoes if I have an Adidas sweatshirt on. Like that's in my head now because I feel like it's clashing. I'm like, well, it's not.
The brand it's certainly not. It is dumb. But it can't. I get it. Like it's another thing that makes big business money. I think is thinking that way.
Yeah,
I could give it. But I think there are very few products where the cheaper version is not as good in a grocery store scene, like kind of budget. Or the grocery store version or the in-house version is not as good as like a name brand version.
Yeah,
and the thing that comes to mind the most to me is batteries. Like a grocery store brand, like like never heard of it. If you're buying a 4-pack of AAA batteries, that shit will be gone before you take it out of the box. Like some of those are so goddamn bad. Like but like Duracell or whatever for whatever reason. I don't know if it's true or if I've tricked myself into it on that one particular thing, but like I think the battery thing.
I think you're right. Yeah, there's always like one bloated one. Like why does this one battery have a waste line?
Yeah,
there's
it's been pelted at someone's head or something.
Yeah, there's a follow up to a battery company like a Duracell. I think there is like you can see
there's actual industry involved in it, and
but like clothing. I mean, I still obviously Portland's like Nike and Adidas. I love this. I love the Under Armour building that's over here. I've never been able to get on board with the brand Under Armour because it's underarm. Your first whole big thing.
The last thing you would ever put on your body is something that said that.
Yeah.
But I am definitely a Vans and Adidas person. I don't have any Nikes.
Yeah. I got them. I got them now being here, but
I should try it, but I just don't. But Charlene, was your house growing up? Was there a particular?
No, my mom bought whatever was on sale. It was Dr. Smooth all day long.
Oh, see that?
K, Dr. Smooth.
I was way more excited about the odd knockoff brands than the brand
names. Yes.
Yeah.
We should take a moment to celebrate those like blatant ripoffs of Porksy instead of Pepsi or whatever.
The bags of cereal too. They all had names that were like almost the same, but
Fruit O's.
Yeah. Charm Luck.
Yeah. Well, it's with the for some reason I don't know what it is with the Dr. Pepper line of like that flavored family, because like Coke or Pepsi, or you just had soda. It was just soda or pop, depending on your regional nomenclature.
I grew up in the South, so everything is Coke there.
Yeah, that's what they will. In Texas too, people will walk into a restaurant and be like, "What kind of Cokes do you have?"
That's right.
Yeah, but also that's,
like,
I mean, that's
Sprite.
Atlanta. Yeah, was it? Didn't they subsidize your education? Like, didn't you learn from Coca-Cola textbooks?
Probably. Yeah.
But so we had, but when it came to the flavor of Dr. Pepper, that's when people was like Mr. Pibb, Dr. Smooth, some sort of like prefix title, you know.
Right. Right. You have to have a title.
Bubbles Esquire or something. It always had some sort of.
I was trying to think of something. Oh, God.
Flavor Timothy
Duke
DDS.
Soda.
Yeah.
Archduke Soda.
Yeah.
Right. The Earl of Flavors.
The Honorable Spicy Tea Bubbles. Yeah. But so, I don't know why that one, like, this flavor.
Viceroy Soda.
Yeah, this flavor needs a name, needs a proper name. The rest of these, generic soda, lemon, lime, orange. But this flavor is a man's proper name and title. No matter what it is.
Andy Sanford had a great joke about that. They're like, he would go like, now there's cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper. He goes, this thing had 23 flavors in it, and you're going to tell me cherry and vanilla weren't in the first batch? And then the other thing I think of is like Hell or High Water. This goes to brand loyalty, actually. In the film Hell or High Water, there's a part where he walks in to this convenience store. Chris Pine, his brother, is played by Ben Foster, and he goes, "Get me a Dr. Pepper and some smokes." They commit assault on these two guys in the parking lot, and then he comes back, hands him the soda and cigarette, and he goes, "I told you Dr. Pepper, this is Mr. Pibb." And he goes, "They were all out." He goes, "Only assholes drink Mr. Pibb." And it makes sense. Like, it just is like that is a thing people, like, I can't drink it. I can't do it.
My buddy, my buddy who is known for just like, it's only because of how funny he was when he'd go off on things that you'd be excited if he'd go off on something, like you wouldn't take it personally. But we're like all high as shit at a gas station. My buddy's running in like, "Oh, you want something?" He's like, "Yeah, my stomach's feeling weird. Give me a Sprite." And my buddy came out with a 7-Up. And he just goes, "What the fuck is this?" Or no, that's what he said. He's like, get me a Sprite. He didn't say his stomach was messed up, but he came back with a 7-Up. He's like, "Did I say I wasn't feeling good and I'm at my grandmother's house? I asked for a fucking Sprite, not this bullshit." Like, it's going off on him. It was only because it's funny. We know he's not mean. It's just because it was Did I say my tummy was upset to my grandmother? Go back in there and get me a goddamn Sprite.
Bitch.
Yeah. Which now I'm just it's like pop is the thing I won't allow myself to have, except for like maybe once or twice. Yeah, was it great?
It was really good. I had a cherry Coke.
Oh, cherry Coke's my favorite ones.
Yeah. but I was like, and I poured half of it out. I was like, it was great, and I was like, this is not what I like. I was home and just kind of
Poured
chilling out.
half
I was
of
like, I
out,
want a
filled
little
it with
treat.
rum.
But I had to get rid of it because I was like, it's so good, but my God, it's just so bad for you. I'll do whatever. Weirdly, I was drinking it more last month during the holidays and stuff because I was trying not to like drink too much booze, and I was just having like a sugar crave.
Yeah.
Then I think I kind of ended up just drinking about as much booze and soda.
That's the thing. I've been drunk for like the last week and a half. I better not have a strawberry 7-Up because that high fructose.
There was before we go to break, there was in my neighborhood, my friend Mike, his family would always get, for speaking of brand loyalty, all of their cars, there were 4 of them.
Yeah.
Right? They would all get Chevys. They would all be hatchbacks. They would all be white, and they would all be manual. Like all of the cars.
And that's just the same car 4 times.
Well, like I mean, I guess there were 2 doors and 4 doors and like a sedan, but it was like one of these things that like it was like all of the like I would get in the drive. I'd be like at his house hanging out, and they'd be like, "All right, let's go to the mall or something." And then I would just walk to the wrong car, even though I'd been in his car 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And this was coming from his dad was a guy who was a fucking asshole. But his job was he would order like knives and guns and camo shit off like from Mexico and then go sell it at gun trading shows. I can't understand like what a person he was to be like, I have this self-employment of like, I'm just like shilling bullshit all the time, like at gun shows.
Yeah.
And that kind of shit. And then he's like got this weird loyalty thing. Maybe they had a hookup or something at a car dealership. I don't know.
Well, the car thing runs deep. I think that's maybe not our generation, but especially like our dad's generation where it was like hot rods. And if you were a hot rod guy, it was a sports team. It wasn't about you just liked your home team because it was your home team, just the same way like you picked Ford because your dad picked Ford, whether Fords were bad. It was a reason to have a competition. It was a reason to have a discussion, Yeah. You can only go so far when you agree with somebody. But if you disagree, oh boy, you can go back and forth. And so it's, Ford, Chevy, Mopar. That was the 3, but like, I'm not a car guy, but those were the big 3. But it was also the racing days. So you're rooting for a team. You're rooting for like, this car is faster than that car. And
was that movie that came out with Christian Bale and Matt Damon where he drives Le Mans?
Oh, was that Ford versus Ferrari?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ford versus Ferrari. Like that was like an interesting. It was a pretty good film, but like it was like like that whole thing was kind of like the Ford thing was like. It was like a marketing. It was like a propaganda machine for Ford to like be like, we won Le Mans.
Well, sure.
It's like I've never even heard of Le Mans until this fucking movie. Really.
Well, that's like the shoe. Well, that's like the shoe movie, which I remember watching and being like, this is a good movie, but also like, oh, it's just rich white people wondering how they can get richer off of shoes.
Yeah.
But pitting.
It's all for the sake of capitalism at the end of the day, I guess.
Well, but so we're getting to the whole point of this episode is being brand loyal. Some people see it as like a family right to be like, no, my dad worked for Ford and we drive Fords and Fords are the best. And they have tied
That's the only
their
way.
life to a brand that has been more than just a thing you bought in a store. It's like this company.
That's where the only place I really get it.
In Atlanta is like Coca-Cola has the Coca-Cola Museum, which I got very sick at because I wanted to try all of them.
Sodas, yeah.
It was me and like a field trip, and we're both just like, this is grape soda from India. And just like, I had to try all of them with Rachel, and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I gotta get them all. And I'm just like,
there's hundreds of them too.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sounds great. Though.
So there's capitalism's a villain, but it's also a reason some whole
if it's
towns
putting food
exist.
on your table, I can see how you got there.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's a
good
good
thing.
thing.
Ford line, I can see how you got there. It's a preservationist thing.
My dad worked for Eastern Airlines, and we were brand loyal to an airline because we got to fly on them because my dad worked for them. But also, when you're a little kid. And everything, like the playing cards we had were from Eastern Airlines. Everything was from this just this massive corporation
Yeah.
that this stuff, Dad's wearing a hat. I got the hat. We got a T-shirt. We're going to the company picnic to meet the other people. So you new kids whose dads like live by.
Man.
So that's how it can create more than just a junior high school pissing match.
Yeah,
is that
for sure.
Your family, at least at one point in America, one person was a breadwinner, and it was because of this company, and you decided that this company is what's taking care of your family. And then the CEO, took over and went, put the thing tits up and spoiled the whole idea of that in the 80s, much like everything else when you saw the early days of late stage capitalism take hold and you realize, and my dad sat me down.
I mean, that's like kind of like what,
said
like,
there's no
these
such thing as a
people-
loyal company.
I mean,
Yeah.
There's that's insane that would even be a thought really at this point. But like, there is this thing of like, I think now, like when people are like, I work at Google, I'm changing the world. That's like the new version of working at Ford. My friend who does coding at Apple or whatever thinks they are doing something more like their job is like we're connecting people. It's that kind of like shit of like, and I'm like, well,
And that's the advertising.
The
They're
CEOs
advertising to their
connecting
own.
people.
They're advertising to their own employees.
You're a bolt tightener.
Yeah.
You're a bolt tightener. There's nothing wrong with it, but you're like, there's that's the part of it that gets a little like weird to me.
I used to work.
It's the propaganda.
I used to work for a big corporation that put on live events, and they had this rebranding. They had this rebranding happen, and so then we all got all of this. Like we got rebranded too, and on the fourth floor, there was this enormous neon sign that took up an entire wall that said, "We make happiness happen." And that was like their whole thing. Like, we're bringing live events to people. Like, we make happiness happen. And I was just like, no, but you don't.
No. You raid its fucking pockets pretty good.
Yeah,
Well,
but
Yeah.
I mean, people who had drunk the juice, and they were like
Yes, that's the
all
thing,
on
is, like-
board for that way of thinking.
And there is some survivalism in that way of like, well, like if that company's doing better than our company, I might. If you're the kind of person who thinks in that way, like I might not have as good a job at some point.
And
You know,
that
like-
way of thinking can really justify a company going, well, we have to lay people off because
Yes.
either the CEOs make less or we figure out a way to cut costs.
how do we cut cost? Pay less work, or less money for people, more work for them though.
Yeah, well, that's the old adage is like, if somebody quits at your job, never take up the slack. Because they're not going to, it's not like, oh, thanks, we're going to hire somebody soon to take, they're like, oh, you can do both these jobs?
Yeah.
But then I've also this is where I'm like conflicted because I don't want to be a fucking Karen about things, but I also think the term Karen, like, you can turn your phone on and catch a clip of somebody being pissed off at a restaurant or something, but maybe the people that work at the restaurant fucking suck and it's okay to I'm sorry, this is all stemming from the contractor talk of like when you're paying for
this
something
is
to be
great.
done.
I have some of this.
But like, okay, man, yeah, you gave me shitty food that took 2 hours to get here, and it's costing me $30. And I'm not trying to be a dick to you, but like, I feel like there's some circumstances where it's like, yeah, everybody's getting the short end of the stick with this thing. I know that's gonna make me sound bad.
Like
the way I
people
phrase
are,
it, but
there's some. I actually had one of these the other day. I'm just gonna share it, and this is not my style. But I was doing shows on Friday night, and they were clearing out the bar to like reset the room because they do karaoke after comedy at this place, Cobra Club, which is like a good hang, good bar, good show. And my bag was on the floor. Other people's bags were on the floor, and the woman at the bar. And I've been playing this bar for 10 years, doing shows. People come, blah blah blah. And she was like really loud. Like she was like, "Guys, can you move your?" Like she screamed, like, "Move your bags! Come on!" Like. No, excuse me or anything like that. And then I just go, well, I can be condescending and rude too. And she just looked at me and like walked away for a second. And then she came back. She goes, well, I work here so you can leave. And I was like, well, I will, but you suck. Like, and she just looked, I was like, I didn't do anything. You were rude. Like,
yeah.
and she didn't know what to do. And I've been going to that bar for a decade, you know, like, and I go, to my buddy, I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry if this like the guy who runs the show is like, I'm sorry if that like causes you any grief." And he goes, "No, she's like rude to everyone here." And I was like, "Fine, yeah."
A rude
But-
bartender in New York. Now I've heard of everything.
Yeah, they're also warm and punctual. I had lunch with you a week ago in Oregon.
Okay,
Sure.
all right. It's not. We're not
Yeah.
pitting our brand loyalty to our cities.
That's true. We should.
I was at the fucking McDonald's at O'Hare, and there's like the automatic thing.
This is just
I'm
us
trying to change the subject.
complaining about-
But you're talking about like how the employees like. I know you're minimum wage, minimum effort, but it's an airport. Like then there is a part where I'm like, just quit. Like if you're not going to fulfill the bare minimum requirements, quit. But also, I've been a teenager at jobs where I'm like, you want me to do more for this amount of money? Fuck you. So I'm conflicted. But there's the automatic touch your own order screen, and there's a line. There's a huge line for that. And then there's people just standing at the counter, like the employees. And it's also herd mentality at an airport. I better get in line for the touch screen. And I go through the line. I'm like, can I order from you? They're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, so you're not telling anybody they can do that. You'd rather sit there. But they're like laughing at the people lining up. And I'm like, I hope you're stuck at McDonald's for the rest of your life. I'm like, oh, I turned into that person. I turned into the enemy.
It's quick how fast it can.
But it's a fucking airport. People are in a rush. They're trying to eat. You're like, all right. But again, I'm arguing for the fucking enemy right now. I can't believe
The
what I'm
thing that
saying.
is always wild to me is like it's the same thing you had then and the same thing I had on Friday. It's there no one is finding a solution for this problem that has clearly been happening. Like this woman was saying, move your bags, probably since she's started working there. You know, like, and there's never been anyone be like, hey, can you make an announcement at the end of the show that we're turning the room over? You guys need to pick your bags. Like, no one is finding a solution is really my problem.
Yeah.
Because I don't like I look like every other person to that woman who's ever been there and left their bag on.
Yeah.
You know, like, and so like that to me is like the issue with that kind of stuff. It's like they said there should be some manager or someone being like, hey guys, you can order here too. We can get all this food out. But this is also, I guess, in an airport, you're probably like we just defeated because it's a sea that's never.
We should defend bad customer service. I guess my point being is like I'm never in the position to think. I wish my default was like, oh, maybe somebody's having a bad day, and that's why they had that attitude initially. But how we got there from a brand loyalty aspect, I don't know. That sounds.
Why don't we take a break and we'll be right back? We'll sort it out over this break. This is a ad from our sponsor, HelloFresh.
Don't let recipe boredom strike because HelloFresh has more options than ever before. Dig into the biggest menu yet with over 45 dinner options to choose from weekly and even more market add-on items that suit any lifestyle. So you've resolved to actually sit down and eat dinner around the table. But what do you do about those nights when the schedule's packed? Turn to HelloFresh's lineup of quick and easy meals, including their 15-minute recipes designed to help minimize mealtime stress. I was a HelloFresh customer before they were a sponsor. No joke. It was great. They give you just this right amount of ingredients, so there's no, I hate food waste. It makes me nuts. They give you the perfect amount of everything you need to make a meal for two. Rachel and I, it was fun. They walked us through it. I never knew how to cook. This gave me the confidence to feel like, hey, maybe it's not so tough and I shouldn't be scared of messing around in the kitchen. And I am endorsing this as somebody who participated in even before a sponsor. And that's no BS from your buddy Kyle. Go to HelloFresh.com/NAFT free and use code NAFT free for free breakfast for life. Who's even doing that? One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life. You could live a long time. Think of all those breakfasts. Free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/NAFT free with code NAFT free. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Working out. I'm not a real gym rat. I need to have some music or a podcast to motivate me. I got to have headphones. I got to have my water bottle with me. I like to stay hydrated. You know, that's what I got to have. I got to have my comfy shorts. I usually just wear like My favorite thing when I work out is I wear a crappy t-shirt, usually from a restaurant, so people think I've already lost more weight than I really already have, and it's a good look. But what's really important to have is the app Fitbod. It's great. It's a fitness app. It creates completely personalized workouts that adapt as you improve. It's like having your own personal trainer, but it's even better. It's cheaper, and you can work out anywhere with or without equipment, and it's easy to build custom fitness plan that works for you.
The thing I love about Fitbod is when I go get my workout in, I can track everything I do on it. And then I'm going to fit my bod into a smaller pair of jeans. Everybody, get in there, do some tricep presses, maybe a little bit of a back row, and then your bod's going to be fit. And then you put it in the Fitbod app, and it is going to change your habits. Fitbod.
That was some ASMR. Add Fitbod to your workout essentials. Join Fitbod today. Get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app free at fitbod.me/NAFT. That is FITBOD.me/NAFT.
And we're back. The good and the bad of brand loyalty. Yeah,
Well,
Daddy.
I think that's what I was getting on it. Like the I don't know what the good is. I think I'm just trying to explain, like, in the days where there was a point where you cared about your job, where you're like, I work for this company, and this company either does care about its employees because they realize that reinvesting in their workforce will make their company better. So there was a genuine interest in taking care of the people that worked for you and making them happy because it would turn into a stronger company, which is capitalism, yes. But I guess that's bad. But also, your fucking dad got to buy a house, or your mom got to buy a house, and you got to have, you got to have
There's a little bit of that to be
upward
grateful
mobility.
for,
There's
man.
upward mobility, and you got worked hard, and you got further up in the company or what have you. It seems.
Yeah, I don't
We're
want to
still
go
part
on
of it.
to
We're still.
yes,
doing
we
it.
are, obviously.
We
I
work
don't
at
wanna go on to-
restaurants.
Yeah. I don't want to go on to complain about it too much.
Mhm.
But there is like that thing of like, and it is like a branding thing, but there are companies now that'll be like, for every pair of shoes we sell, we donate one. Or, like that kind of.
Yeah.
So maybe there might be companies and brands out there that are legitimately doing something. I mean, they're all self-serving to some degree because they have to be, because that's the world
Yeah,
we
but it was
live in
like
financially.
Patagonia or
But
something.
maybe there are people that
you
are
know.
doing better things than other, like the Patagonia thing. Isn't their thing like, well, our shit's expensive, but we're hoping you only ever have to buy one because it's that high a quality. Like,
Yeah.
that's like their philosophy, more or less. See, that's like cool. Or like,
Well,
what-
not only
there's that
that, but during the whole, what's her name, Dylan, whoever, with the Budweiser can, how they put the trans social
Yeah.
person on and everyone had a fucking fit about it, and then Target started pulling their like LGBTQ stuff off of the shelves because people were complaining and stuff. Patagonia, I'm pretty sure it was them, is the company that was like, we're doubling down, and now our brand ambassador is a drag queen, and we're going to now promote that drag queens and LGBTQ people should get more outside and do all this stuff. So, I mean, for what it's worth, like, probably they do a bunch of other crummy stuff, but they did at least like,
I mean, none of them are doing all
hold
of
a
it right.
line that nobody else seemed to be holding,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I think you kind of like, kind of think you used to have a bit about like, I gotta like, I'll research a company and find out like before I buy something if what they do or like what their thing is. Like, did you have something like?
Yeah, it was about how it's hard to be poor and be ethical if you're still because like the companies that sell the cheapest stuff are the villains. Like how, the Jimmy John's guy is a big game hunter and Papa John's says the N word and like, well, yeah, of course these guys are bad, but also that's the stuff that you can afford at a certain level of life. And so, what do you? Which pick your battles kind of thing.
That is always my problem with like very liberal people with money being like, you shop at Walmart, or what, like it's like, well, some people need to shop there. I understand what you're saying, but some people don't have the time to sit down and read New Yorker articles about how like they're actually working for a living.
I don't have the money or the time to go around to each specialty shop to pay 5 times the amount a head of lettuce should cost because it's organic, because I have to feed my family and work at the same time. And so I need to go to the one store that has really. Rachel just pointed out that actually Walmart's more ethical than Amazon now because it's free shipping and they might treat their employees slightly better. So now Walmart is now the ethical choice over Amazon if you're ordering stuff online.
Yeah, there's a whole. I mean, we can dive down this road forever, but like that's I guess if you are going to be brand loyal, maybe there's a brand that's less bad than the other one to think about being loyal to.
Yeah, but then the reason they can pay, or charge you the least amount of money for something is like, oh, they don't pay their employees well. They're doing it the cheapest. It's the worst for you. But are you downtrodden because you're also part of this system where you're working 2 jobs with 2 kids, and so you have to go to Walmart and buy the generic brand thing? It's really a bummer if you think about the end times of it won't be nuclear war. It'll just be mass poverty and rich people behind walls keeping food locked up to ensure that their security forces don't turn against them.
There'll be a way to think about
it's cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, let's do it this way. Most popular brand rivalries. Coke versus Pepsi, obviously. Coke is clearly winning that, right? Is Coke the biggest in America, or is it the biggest? Or is it the biggest? Because I think there's like that's a weird thing I think about with this kind of stuff. Because I think Nike is probably the most popular shoe in the States.
No,
but
Pepsi.
I feel like Adidas is bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Pepsi is bigger than Coke?
Yep.
Globally?
This is what Google says.
But,
okay, what about
who are the companies underneath Pepsi? Because it's not just the drink. I'm like, they might have an aircraft.
Like KFC.
What does PepsiCo own? Yeah, because it's PepsiCo.
Yeah, they might own Catholicism. Like, you don't even know anymore.
I mean, they own Taco Bell, right?
Blood of Christ.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. And probably a bunch of other fast food restaurants. I think KFC too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and I guess the only thing I'm actually brand loyal to at this point is Apple. When it comes to an expensive, I just
and even that
it worked. Whatever they did, it worked on me. I got shamed for a while on the green bubbling and whatever. I remember I text my friend that my mom died, and she wrote back, "Did you get an iPhone?"
Oh my God.
She works for Apple.
I mean,
does she work for human beings?
No kidding.
She's a really good person.
Really?
Honestly.
Really?
I think she just didn't even see the text. She just saw the blue bubble.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a nice reminder to wait till the words come through before you respond to you see the dots up there. I thought the same way, like, oh, Apple's superior to everything. And then I think they took that advantage and just ran with it because everything of theirs, I get the phones. The phones are fucking, it's the same horse shit. And then they throttle it once there's a new one out. So you got to buy the new one because the old one's so. These AirPods, they fucking suck. They hurt my head if I have to talk and use them. I think Apple is dog shit now, but they got everybody. Cool capitalism. Hey, we got you on board and you're reliant on us now. Eat our asses. You're not going to stop buying our trash.
Yeah. It is wild that they had to stop making new chargers in Europe.
Yeah, good.
Did you see that?
Yeah, stop pumping out shit.
It took a coalition of countries. The European Union had to be like, you're not doing this anymore.
This is still $1,000.
Yes.
This is still $1,000. This probably cost them $8 to make.
We have to make a rule where things that cost money, we can't have Kyle.
There's no craftsmanship to this. There's no handmade. I mean, there's hands. They're little ones because it's small parts. I'm guessing those kids aren't getting great wages. No, hey, you don't have to worry about unions in China.
I think it was somebody like their nets. outside of the factories, right? Like, because people would like walk up and jump out of the building.
$1,000. Still, 20 years on.
I mean, according to Google, and we all know how reliable that is, it says the actual cost to produce the iPhone and all of the parts and labor and everything is $464.
No.
So it's got a.
I refuse that answer.
Okay.
With
I
no
mean, I
knowledge,
also, yeah,
I refuse that answer.
it seems high, to be honest.
So it's over. It's 3 times as expensive, like because they're really like that's
$1,500, yeah,
or 11,
yeah,
anywhere
yeah.
between like 1,100 for a low end, yeah,
right,
yeah,
right,
yeah. So it's 3 times what it costs
Talbot.
more or less.
right.
I mean, you come back. I mean, I know you have to like backtrack all the R&D and all the technology that you had to pay for up front, but you're telling me they haven't made that over 1,000-fold? Anyway, I get angry about all the stuff I already own, but
Yeah.
But
What's
the brand, the Apple versus Android thing, I got with the Apple, and then I got married to the whole line of products, and now I'm afraid to leave like it's the fucking mob.
Well, this is where, I'm also in the same place. I actually,
but also
union dispute. Charlene found this story. I'm sorry, Kyle.
Go ahead.
It's going to union disputes firing of Coke driver who drank Pepsi.
Oh yeah,
that's insane.
I wonder how sensationalized those stories were, because they said that guy was actually he was trying to get union. He was trying to unionize or something.
Yeah, it was the only story that I could find that happened somewhat recently. But as a kid growing up in Atlanta, there were people getting fired left and right all the time. Like, even if they had coworkers over and the coworkers saw that there was Pepsi in the house, the coworkers got like some sort of benefit to report their coworkers.
Snitch dollars?
People got fired I just remember all as a kid. Like, there was a big,
Really?
which is why people are like Coke, Pepsi, Coke, especially in Georgia, because it's like you can't say the wrong answer also if somebody in your family works for one of the largest employers in Atlanta, you know?
Wow. That's fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
If there's a company that constructs homes or buys and renovate, like it's like if you could be loyal to somebody, like something tangible like that,
I'm sure
as
there's
opposed to
there's
a
developers
car which just depreciates.
Well, again, but it's not, the rich people aren't going to play this game. This is for poor people to still have identity while it still affects the profit.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
That
let's
being
get into
said, I like Burger King better than McDonald's.
me too. Well, we're on there. The psychology of brand loyalty is not novelty. Brand loyalty doesn't depend on novelty to sustain itself, but is a necessary first ingredient. It associates with positive reinforcement or negative ones, I would imagine. And there's an identity and tribalism factor to it and nostalgia. I think that's where, if I have any brand loyalty, it is probably for nostalgia. Like I will like I was in Missouri and they had a Brahms there. I don't know if you guys know what Brahms. I don't know if you have them.
Like an ice cream
Atlanta.
place?
Yeah, it's a Texas kind of like burger,
Yeah.
ice cream, like dairy farm place, and like there was one right by our house when I grew up, so we would always go. I actually worked at it for a point, but like when I saw that Brahms, I was like, oh my God, I have to go get Brahms. And I don't even think it's good. I just did it. You know, like that, I think that's the way brand loyalty works on me most, is like for a nostalgia sense, which is a pretty powerful tool.
I think that's just nostalgia too. It's not so much but yeah, you grew up doing something with your family, so that's
yeah. I mean, that's most of it. I don't think like but I would say if that's where my the other side of my brand loyalty comes in, outside of just being owned by Apple at this point.
my brand loyalty now is because I do think it's quality based, but I cannot fathom buying any other tortilla chips other than Juanita's tortilla chips.
100% agree.
I will also.
What are they
They're
doing
the
with these
best.
fucking chips?
I don't know, but I mean,
You want me to call somebody?
it's almost impossible to find them in Los Angeles.
They make them in Hood
also.
River. Yeah, they don't. I think
They're
they
so good. My friend lives in Nepal, and the one thing she asks me to send her is Juanita's chips.
Yes,
Really?
Yeah.
Trish?
I am
Yes.
Yeah.
I am dry fucking.
Probably
a
helps
bag
all the
of these
elephant
chips.
she owns poop or whatever.
I don't need. I'll finish a whole thing of salsa just because that's how many chips there are, and then I'm still eating the chips. I lose my mind over these damn Juanitas.
They're really good.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Amen. And with that being said, let's jump out of this little pool of salsa and into a litter box because we're all going to have to shit anyways. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, my goodness.
My loyalty is to you two. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsors on the All Things Comedy Network, Bill Burr's Propaganda Machine. Speaking of brand loyalty. Ooh.
And we're back. I'm sorry.
Look who did it.
I did it. I'm sorry. I realized I wasn't being funny. I was just getting mouthy about capitalism while arguing both sides. Of
Sometimes it's fun to hear you do that, honestly.
I don't like myself when I'm just getting all loud about it.
Do you have all right, I'm going to say a kind of product. You tell me the first brand that pops into your head before we jump into
all right
calls. Whiskey.
Jameson.
Yeah.
Same. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Here we go.
You didn't think about this before you started it, did you?
No, but I got a couple more. I got this. Don't worry. Toothpaste.
Colgate.
I'll also say Colgate, but
Same.
I think it's because it's honestly, I think it is the least expensive one, and I always buy it. And every time I buy it, I'm like, I don't like Colgate.
I don't like
keep buying
I don't
it because
like
it is the cheapest
What
one.
you're saying is like you realize it's working to a point.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
Where
you
you
say
don't-
clean.
you
You
realize
say
you don't even-
Kleenex instead of tissue.
Yeah, that's
Right,
like yeah. Taco.
Tuesday.
Meat.
Lettuce.
Mexican.
Gross.
Mexican. Oh, it's word association. It's going wrong.
Yeah, I was pen.
Pen?
A big Bic.
Pen, like a pen.
It's whatever one is in the basket. There's
But
Bic?
Bic is like a name I know
Yeah.
with it. So you know, we know brand names quickly,
But
that
doesn't
are
necessarily
associated.
make you brand loyal. Because I always like Bic was
just
the
take
first thing
them
that popped
from
in my
work.
head.
Yeah, but
I always the kind of pen I get is always this Pilot.
That's true.
Oh, yeah,
That
but-
is the one I
yeah.
like the best.
But you think about how much money was spent on psychologists that sat in a room with people doing the same exercise to figure out how to get more money out. Like we hired like psychologists work for companies to make companies more money. Somebody that went, isn't there like don't they have like a Hippocratic oath they have to follow, or is that only the
Do no
cut you up
harm.
doctors?
Do no harm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No joke.
I don't know if they have to take the same oath as like surgeons and those kind of doctors, but
I think you still have to do no harm. I think that is
But what it, well,
rule number
I'm
one.
not doing any harm. I'm making someone money, and that's good. I'm not actively I'm harming society by
Right.
participant. That's extrapolated.
I mean, at one point, lobotomies were okay. So, like,
yeah. So there's the do
That
no
is like
harm
one of
thing.
those
It's a
things,
very
like-
pliable statement in the Hippocratic oath.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Okay. Well, I just wanted to see how that would play if we would all be on a similar page with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
But, yeah, we kind of were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Because like I'll even think about it like with record labels I used to be very into.
yeah, but that's also the
like,
type
Sub
of
Pop's
music.
putting out yeah, that kind of stuff. But yeah, but I guess that's what
Well,
Spotify's algorithm feeds me when I get new bands. or
Well,
whatever.
now the algorithm is the new corporate psychologist.
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
Guys, let's go to the calls. I got to go to Burger King and have a Pepsi after this. I am hungry for lunch.
Okay, here we go.
I could eat too.
You're goddamn right. I'm a one brand household. You think I'm going to use some shit like Astroglide when there's a superior product like KY out there? Come on.
I don't even.
Was that it?
Yep.
My man just ain't having a stick of juicy fruit and then spitting on his dick. He's got brand loyalty.
Imagine like a 1950s propaganda poster of Astroglide versus KY. Like Betty uses KY, just a sore red ass.
What a wild. Astroglide is such a cool name for anything else, too.
It
Yes,
really
very
is.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like a kind of like pitch or something, like a special.
Does sound, yeah, something you'd find in the garage. I just waxed the car with Astroglide. Got another, getting better mile per gallon now.
MPG.
Thank you for the call.
Yes.
Here's the next one.
Meow. I just wanted to call in about one brand households. I was thinking hard about it and didn't realize didn't know if I actually knew any growing up, but then I remembered that when I was 18, I got my first motorcycle. It was a Suzuki I got for $1,000. Little chopper, fun to cruise around on the streets with, not super high powered, cool little starter bike. And the guy across the street, love the guy to death, came over and called me gay because it wasn't a Harley. So I don't know. Brand loyalty's kind of weird like that. I just thought that was a funny story. I don't really have anything else that's too specific to that. Have a good one. Peace.
Oh God.
I don't think there's that is true. I mean, I know this is all about like defending the Harley culture is some of the funniest. Like the fact that they have shoes and socks and pants and a whole little outfit and the motorcycle. I'm like, you're basically like when I see a little kid that liked the movie Frozen so much. Like you're a Disney adult. You're a Disney adult.
Stop telling me. Yeah.
And the most American brand, please look at the label on everything you bought that says Harley Davidson on it. Please do that for me.
Mm-hmm.
USA.
All, like, made in China.
Yes. And
they started in Milwaukee?
Started like a lot of things.
Yeah. Okay.
Like most companies until capitalism took over and like, well, we could take care of our employees like we were talking about, or we could just go to China and make a bunch of money. But that like when I see like and it's like the tough, like one of the toughest dads on the weekends, like, oh man, keep up with that Suzuki, buddy.
Okay, here's the next one.
And it's going to say on brand loyalty household. This is a Sony household. This is a PlayStation household. One time, my little sister came home. She had an Xbox One. I smashed that shit. I just took in the backyard with the crowbar. I smashed that shit. This is Sony household only. So that's my opinion on the brand loyalty household. It's either one brand, get the fuck out. Thank you. It's been Nick from Seattle.
I feel like Nick from Seattle's got some domestic charges coming.
Guess he used to work for Microsoft. That's the Xbox machine, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he worked for anybody. That's what happened. That's a laid off drunk attitude. You bring that shit in this house.
Not a lot to be said on that outside of your poor sister.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But he's smashy.
She sounds like she's going to be brand loyal to a different sibling after that. You got it, Buster. I got PlayStations just because that's what I got used to, and I'm not enough of a gamer. My friends that are just into games just have them all.
Yeah, I mean, most of it I think is just about introduction. Like,
yeah,
when it comes to brand loyalty, like when you got what you got first. But like, yeah, I don't know. You got another one on there, Shar?
Hi, Kyle, Shane, and Star Dog.
Yeah,
we're your married couple super fans. This is Ann and Jared, and we love you guys.
Meow, meow.
Wow.
We love you, Shane. Also, Kyle, I hate the meow, meow.
So we have had an entire evening talking about brand loyalty, and this is a complicated topic. I come from a Ford family.
And I'm from a Chevy family. But here's where we've landed at this point. For the most part, I do not care about any brand of anything that is a basic consumer good. And if it was up to me, I would just buy everything from Aldi.
And while I agree, for example, Cascade Platinum dishwasher pods rock. They get the job done. Any other product I buy, I have to run the dishwasher more than once, and that sucks. Also, when it comes to food products, if there's an actual nutritional or taste-based difference, that actually matters to me.
Yeah, and I've never cared. And at this moment, we're drinking our usual, the Wisconsin Old Fashioned here in Green Bay. And I only care about one brand. It's made of booze, soda, and bitters. And I just care about the bitters. But my wife, she cares about
Yeah, so Jared cares about the bitters. It's Angostura bitters. They're made in Trinidad and Tobago. They're awesome. But I care also about the whiskey. But let me tell you, we might use Sprite Zero. We might use Dari, which is the thing that exists now. I don't know what the hell that is. Or some Aldi brand version of Diet Sierra Mist to mix it with. So basically,
we're a strange split brand household that kind of cares about brands but doesn't, so it kind of matters. So we've kind of reached
the bitters come from Angora, and the whiskey is handcrafted. But then sometimes we put Diet Sierra Mist in there.
God bless these good Midwestern folk.
That's call's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, what else they got?
And I like how they're switching.
Oh yeah, they're on it.
I will say they are better podcast co-hosts than we are already.
By far, although we could dole that award out to a lot of people.
That's very
made of booze, soda, and bitters. And I just care about the bitters. But my wife, she cares about.
Yeah, so Jared cares about the bitters. It's Angostura bitters. They're made in Trinidad and Tobago. They're awesome. But I care also about the whiskey. But let me tell you, we might use Sprite Zero. We might use Dari, which is the thing that exists now. I don't know what the hell that is. Or some Aldi brand version of Diet Sierra Mist to mix it with. So basically,
we're a strange split brand household that kind of cares about brands but doesn't, so it kind of matters. So we've kind of reached a detente on brands after we've discussed this topic.
So when it comes to actual quality or taste differentiators, we're hardcore, but everything else, whatever.
Also, Shane, your special was fantastic. Please go watch The Blue-Eyed Mexican. Kyle, we cannot wait for your next special. And R.I.P. Dirtman.
And Kyle, there's an old school mission-style Taco Bell that is now a bar here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I've been meaning to send you a picture. Please come do a show here. We will buy your drinks. Love you.
Love you, bro.
We do this together.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
I'm going to say that right now. We're putting that call. We're starting a Hall of Fame, and that call is the first inductee. I love that.
I've never played or been to Green Bay proper, except I got lost coming back from an air show with my dad in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and we wound up in Green Bay. But
I will say this. I've been to Green Bay a couple of times. Truly one of the most fun sporting events of my life was a Bears-Packers Sunday night football game. That town, if you want spectacle, they go insane. They're so nice. Like, the people of Wisconsin are just really sweet people, I think is what it goes down to.
Or they wear your
like,
flesh.
You guys having a good time? I'm Cheryl. I got to teach third graders tomorrow, but tonight I'm getting fucked up. Like, they were saying shit like that to us. And then, like, everybody's dancing. The whole town shuts down. It's a fucking blast. Green Bay kicks ass. Like, they got 8 weekends a year where they get to have the most fun of their lives, and they go for it. People just eating brats in the
look who just called us.
Yeah,
making a fancy drink with Diet Sierra Mist. Also, old Taco Bells. No secret there.
What?
I love the old mission style Taco Bells. I've seen them be Mexican restaurants, Asian restaurants. I saw one
tax
was like
preparation places.
Yeah, but I've never heard of one just becoming a bar, and that seems like the most Wisconsin shit. And that sounds awesome to me. That truly seems awesome.
I'll be at the Laughing Tap in Milwaukee in March or April. I might have to make my way up to Green
Take
Bay
a drive up. That. Yeah, maybe I don't play Appleton anymore. Maybe I just play the old Taco Bell bar. God. I love Wisconsin will just have you'll just be in a neighborhood, but then one of the houses will be a bar. Like an official bar. That's right.
Like licensed by the state. Yeah.
Well, that's where I was at. When I was in Milwaukee before, it was like they got a crock pot out. Everybody's just in the living room of this house getting drunk.
Just a bunch of weenies.
Yeah.
Oh
God, Wisconsin.
Thank you guys.
Rules.
I didn't. Did they say their names?
They said at the beginning.
Yeah, they did at the top.
I don't. Well, I missed your names or I can't recall, but you guys were fucking awesome. That call made my day. Woo. Taco Bell bar T-shirts for our merch, like a mission style. We can figure this out a little bit. I like this.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
I know.
Got ideas.
I'm excited that you're excited.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I like these people. Thank you guys so much for calling. That was really great. I guess we could do another call, though I don't really see the point since we've reached our apex.
We have one that isn't related to the topic, but I think is a really nice voicemail to kind of end on.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. Here we go.
It's just the Trump speech from February.
Oh my God, that's so funny. It's just Rick Astley. Okay. Here we go.
Hey everybody, my name is Ryan Strong. Kyle and Shane, both of you are such respectable stand-up comedians that have material that has completely and utterly crushed a bad attitude, a depression, a horrible day, anything for me. And I just want to say thank you for that to start off with. And secondly, the gal who leaves the introduction for this message and is the voice in the background, yes, from now on, it will be called Must Puss because that's fucking awesome. Thank you. So I just today learned that this whole podcast exists, that these two fools have been talking to each other for so long about stuff.
Fools.
Every fact that we're going to try and understand stuff and celebrate stuff that other people like and not bag on shit is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Happy New Year, y'all. Love you. Keep making me laugh and laugh yourselves. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, man. Thank you very much. That was really nice. Yeah. And I don't know what to say besides that was great.
It was beautiful.
Two stellar calls. That was back to back.
I'll tell you right
runs,
now,
if you
this
ask
is
me.
going to be audio only because my SD card on the camera just ran out. So take it away, Shane.
Well, I want to say since it's now audio, we can just put a still frame of Kyle up, right? Or something like that. Memory card is full is what it says. So, brand loyalty, I get it for nostalgia's sake to some degree. And I guess if you are going to be brand loyal, to sum it all up, it would be like maybe know what kind of company you're being loyal to, are the points I'm taking away from this. And then there's quality of product too. So there are reasons to do it, but in my opinion, there are very few that are actually worth.
I'd like you to be brand loyal to the Kyle Kinane brand of comedy. You can find me at Kyle Kinane on all social media, kylekinane.com. Kyle Kinane on Bands in Town if you'd like to hitch yourself to the mast of this sinking ship. Bands in Town. Find out where I'm playing live.
It's not sinking. You're doing good. Stop being so negative.
Really? From Shane Torres.
Yeah.
That's rich. Where can they find you, Shane?
Still managed to do it even before the end of the sentence, huh?
Yep.
You can find me at shaneiscomedian.com, Shane Torres across all the platforms. I will be in the coming weeks in Cincinnati, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Nashville, Tennessee, the great city of Chicago, where one Kyle Kinane was birthed. So we got that bone to pick with him. Atlanta, Georgia at the West End Comedy Festival, and Des Moines at the Funny Bone. Ugh. So maybe that'll be okay.
Oh, God. I got to get these AirPods out of my ears because they suck. Speaking of brand loyalty, Apple AirPod Pros. I'd rather listen to them through my asshole.
All right. Well, give us a ring at 971-259-8302. Thank you to everyone who called. We sincerely appreciate it. Please subscribe to the YouTube channels of mine, Kyle, and this podcast. Tell Charlene how much you love her when you call in. We couldn't do this without her. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week when we're defending collecting memorabilia of problematic